a courier delivered a copy of every album, compilation, soundtrack and bootleg Elton John had ever released. I still look forward to listening to many of them. First of all, we were mates. Kiki and Davy lived in LA and usually stayed with me and my partner Jenny when they were in England, while Elton lived in Windsor and often dropped in when he was in town. So for a couple of years we all just hung out, playing games, listening to music, watching TV, going to shows in the West End, concerts at Wembley and football matches at Watford, laughing, playing, and partying, just like ordinary people. Well, almost. Elton knew my work. He had heard The War of the Worlds, although it hadn't yet been released. I'd also written lyrics for 3 songs he had produced for Kiki, including Amoureuse. So when he suddenly played me the tune of Shine On Through and asked me to write a lyric, it didn't seem strange at all. But it changed my life forever. Over the next 5 years, Elton would become my closest collaborator and one of my dearest friends. As a lyricist, I choose my words very carefully. So you can believe me when I say that Elton is the most talented, charismatic, generous, and funny person I have ever known, and I am fiercely proud of him. I'm proud of him for his beautiful music, for his ability to move an audience, for his honesty in coming out when he did, and for the incredible work he's done in raising funds for and awareness of people afflicted by AIDS. I'm proud of him because more than any person I've ever met, Elton John has made a difference. If this sounds like a love letter, in many ways it is. Because Elton is the only man who has ever broken my heart. Now, before you start feeling sorry for me, please remember that an occasional broken heart is one of the most useful things a lyricist can have. So even there, Elton did me a favour. Anyway, hearts tend to mend, and apart from a little scar tissue, I've been left with great songs, fantastic memories, continuing royalties, and the house that Blue Eyes bought. How bad is that? Elton has always given his friends far more than he's ever taken. But if he has a fault, and everybody does, it is that he's not very good at ending things. These unhappy endings are a recurring theme in this book, and in many ways I got off lighter than some. I was close enough, for long enough, to see it happening to people who I knew he really adored. People like Dee, Nigel, Ray, Gus, even Davy. So I was pretty well prepared for the fact that eventually one of these unhappy endings was bound to come my way. Even so, I was crushed to learn from a newspaper that, in spite of the recent worldwide success of Blue Eyes, I would no longer be working with Elton. I tried not to take it too personally, but even now, over 20 years later, I often have dreams about Elton, and on some level there is an ache which never quite goes away. It is a tribute to Elton that he inspires ferocious loyalty. To my knowledge, nobody who has been really close to him has ever gone to the papers with the kind of tittle-tattle which might have made them a lot of money. I, for one, would have happily gone to my grave, swearing I'd never seen Elton taking drugs. Fortunately, he spared us all from having to live that lie by coming clean and turning his life around. Another reason to be proud of him. Elton has been Elton John for far longer than he was ever Reg Dwight, so he's become rather good at it. And since he has the constitution of an ox and the energy of a small nation, I expect him to spring a few more surprises before he's done. To me, the biggest surprise so far is that he's managed to withstand decades of power, pressure and pampering without going quite insane. I'm damn sure that I would have gone completely bonkers by now. Like me, David Buckley came to Elton John as an admirer rather than as a fan, and he has approached this book with no agenda other than to chronicle as accurately as possible the extraordinary life of one of the greatest composers and performers of all time. As a force in the history of British entertainment, Elton can only